Hi students, I am Padmini and this is LearnWell SST. The main aim behind starting this channel is to make study of SST more interesting. So today we are going to start with first lesson of 10th standard CBSE Geography. So let us start without wasting time. The first lesson is Resources and Development. Here we are going to see definition, meaning, classification, types of resources in detail and their role in development as well. So let us start with the definition. The definition says everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable can be termed as resource. Let us bifurcate it and understand the meaning of this definition. Whatever is available in environment, among all those things, whatever can satisfy our needs, that becomes a resource. Means whatever is useful to us is the resource for us. The resource is there, but it has to be technologically accessible. Means the technology has to be well developed to make the resource ready to use. It should be economically feasible also. What is the meaning of this economically feasible? Means to make that resource usable, whatever expenditure is there, it must not exceed too much. Then comes culturally acceptable. Means extraction of such resource must be accepted culturally by the community living in that particular region or the community as a whole. Means it has to be resonant to all. When all these conditions are satisfied, then the usable material, usable flora, fauna, human beings can be termed as resource. And human beings highly rely upon the natural resources like solar energy, wind energy, petroleum and many other things. We are going to see a triangle which tells us about the interdependent relationship between nature, technology and institutions. This is very important for us to understand this interdependence. Here you can see at the center of the triangle, human being is there. Why? Because human being, resources are used by human beings and resources are the result of human activities. Anything become resource when we start using it for our own purpose, and that is the reason film ka hero kaun hai? Human beings at the center. At the apex of the triangle there is nature, because climate, rain, topography are the elements of nature and they decide availability of any resource. For example, solar energy, wind energy available in plenty in the state of Rajasthan and part of state Gujarat as well. Next comes technology. Humans use technology to discover, to extract the resources and to transform it to usable form as well. Example, iron ore extraction and transforming it into a iron bar or blades of fan. This is possible because of technology alone. And finally, it all creates institution. Altogether it means that human beings interact with nature through technology and create institutions to accelerate the economic development. Another example if I have to give, the crude oil, natural resource found in its original form, transformed it into petrol and helps the car to run. Then next we are going to see classification of resources. In this classification of resources, they are mainly classified as natural and human. But let us see all this one by one. Natural resources are the resources which are found in nature. They are further subdivided as renewable and non-renewable. Under the heading of renewable, you can see continuous or flow. Renewable resources are the resources which can be made available again, newly able, make available. So So resources are the resources which can be made available again. They are further classified as continuous or flow. Continuous or flow means solar energy, wind energy can come under continuous, and flow means wind, water, etc. Then comes biological. Biological are the biotic factors. Basis on the origin, we are going to see the types of resources again. And under this biological, you can see natural vegetation and wildlife, popularly known as flora and fauna in geography. Then comes next under natural, non-renewable, exactly opposite to renewable. This cannot be made available again. These non-renewable are classified further as recyclable and non-recyclable. Like metals are recyclable and other minerals are non-recyclable. Let us come to the next part of the classification, that is human. Human beings themselves are the resources. Like teachers teach you, so they are the resource for you. And community helpers are there. Latest example, if we have to give, Corona warriors are there. They are all the human resources. They are classified as structure and institutions and quality and quantity. Under the structures and institution, group of community comes, and here quality population and quantity population means, under quality population, the population which is very well educated and physically fit comes, and next quantity population is just number. Let us now see the types of resources. These types of resources are less or more based on the classification of resources only. So we are going to see about them. Types of resources are made on the basis of origin, exhaustibility, and ownership and status of development. Let us see about them one by one. On the basis of origin, they are divided as biotic resources and abiotic resources. Biotic resources are obtained from biosphere and have life, such as human beings, flora and fauna, etc. Then comes abiotic resources, all those things which are made up of, composed of non-living things called as abiotic resources. Example, rocks, metals and other minerals. Then comes on the basis of exhaustibility. Exhaustibility, get exhausted, get finished. And on this basis, they are classified as renewable and non-renewable resources. The resources which can be renewed or reproduced by physical or chemical or mechanical processes are called as renewable, or they are also called as replenishable resources. Example, solar energy, wind energy, water, forests, wildlife, etc. Then non-renewable resources, they occur over a very long geological time. Minerals and fossil fuels are the examples of such resources. These resources take millions of years in their formation, and some of the resources like metals are recyclable, and some like fossil fuel cannot even be recycled. They get exhausted, they get finished once they are used. Then on the basis of ownership, they are classified as individual, community, national and international. Individual resources are the resources which are owned by private individuals. Like you may have your own private things. I might have some my private property, like in urban areas we have our own vehicles, plots, bungalows, houses, flats, shops, hotels, whatever. In villages people own their own farmlands. So all these are the examples of individual resources. Community owned resources are the resources which are accessible to all the members, but all the members of the community. That community can be village, community can be a particular group of people. Example, village have common grazing lands, means pasture lands, common burial grounds, then religious places which are commonly used by community people, public parks, picnic spots, etc. are the example of community ownership resources. Then comes national resources. Technically speaking, all the resources belong to nation. Nothing is private property, and that authority is being utilized by government of the country when it is needed. And that is the reason sometimes government acquires the land for the well-being of the nation. Now what kind of well-being of the nation? For example, construction of dams, construction of flyovers. When all such constructive or developing projects are being undertaken by the government has authority to acquire the lands of private individuals. Of course they get money in turn. Then land within the political boundaries and oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles. 12 nautical miles means 19.2 kilometers. That much area or that much oceanic part also belongs to the adjacent country. So these are all the resources belong to nation. Then comes international resources. There are international institutions which regulate some resources and oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to open ocean, and no individual country can utilize this without the permission of this organization. The next type of resource is on the basis of status of development. On the basis of status of development, it can be classified as potential resources, developed resources, stock and reserves. Potential resources are the resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized. For example, the western parts of India, we have seen this example just now. Particularly the state of Rajasthan and part of Gujarat have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy. But so far, these have not been developed properly, hence not been utilized to its full. Then comes developed resource. Resources which are surveyed, their quality and quantity has been determined. For utilization and the development of resources depend on technology and level of their feasibility. The resources which are surveyed and their quality quantity has been determined comes under developed resources. Then comes stock and reserve. Materials in the environment which have potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings doesn't know about extraction of it or access of it, then such resources are termed as stock. Let us take one example. Here in your textbook, one example is given that water, H2O, is a compound made up of two inflammable gases, that is hydrogen and oxygen. But so far we human beings could not develop such technology that could separate this hydrogen and oxygen. Another example is coal bed methane extracting. What is this coal bed methane extracting? The basic idea behind it is, in India we get coal in abundance, but we practice open mining like blasting and extraction of coal. Here the whole idea behind this coal bed methane extracting is deep down coal chunks are present that is been first surveyed and determined, and holes are digged, and through those holes very hot water is poured. When this hot water comes in the contact of coal, it releases CH4, that is methane gas, and that has been collected. This is called as coal bed methane extracting. But this technology has not been developed here. So today for this period we are going to stop here. Next video we are going to discuss the remaining lesson.